What up, y'all? It's the Kid Forward Fabian, man. BigBossFabo back with a video for the channel. I'm actually doing a reaction to haunting footage of the Titanic released to the public. This dropped on Inside Edition a few months ago, about 4 months ago, and it's discussing, pretty much talking about rare images of the Titanic at peace on the ocean floor were released this week. Some of this footage shot during the 1986 expedition to the world's most famous shipwreck has never been seen before by the public. The expedition's leader, Robert Ballard, described what he saw then as haunting and very powerful. The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution made the footage available to mark the 25th anniversary of the release of the James Cameron Titanic motion picture. Okay. With that being said, man, of course we know the whole story regarding the Titanic expedition submersible that went to pretty much go do an exploration of the Titanic. Unfortunately, news is coming out more recently that they succumbed to, I guess, the pressures of the sea, that the submersible couldn't hold under the pressure of being, 13,000 feet below the 13,000 feet below sea level, so I guess, or the surface of the sea. So with that being said, man, condolences to the family. Much love, prayers out to the family, prayers out to those who lost their lives, man. Unfortunate circumstances. But yeah, man, just the mysteries of the Titanic and just trying to go down there to see them. I think this case is going to prevent a lot of people trying to go. I think more so in the future, they're going to be sending out a lot of drones, things like that, versus humans physically. So once again, prayers out to the family. Sad situation. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into this video, man. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified every time I drop a video. Additionally, this is a reaction channel. If you have recommendations, comment them down below. Check out everything I got going on in the description, man. Support a young entrepreneur.
Expedition. Rare images of the Titanic at peace on the ocean floor were released this week.
At peace.
Some of the footage, shot during the 1986 expedition to the world's most famous shipwreck, has never been seen before by the public. The expedition's leader, Robert Ballard, described what he saw.
And then we came in on the starboard side of beam of the bridge. And the first thing I saw coming out of the gloom at 30 feet was this wall, this giant wall of riveted steel that rose over 100 and some feet above us. I never looked down at the Titanic. I looked up at the Titanic. Nothing was small. And as we rose up its side, because we had to abort the dive at that point because we were taking water into our batteries. And as we rose up after that first dive that lasted just minutes, we began to see the poor.
But even he's detailing some issues he's encountered while he was, at that sea level, exploring the Titanic. The battery started essentially, flooding water. It's just crazy to think about how they're assuming, obviously, that they found remnants or pieces of the Titanic submersible, and they're saying the pressure cracked. It was made of carbon fiber. I don't know, a lot of preventative measures that I think a lot of the explorers prior already knew about. Like, there's even a explorer who was supposed to be on a trip. He pretty much counted himself out, didn't want to continue any further due to certain risk he was already foreseeing.
Holes, and it was like people looking back at us. It was pretty. Began to rose up after that first dive that lasted just minutes. We began to see the portholes, and it was like people looking back at us. It was pretty haunting, actually.
It took researchers decades to find the doomed ocean liner. The research expedition's engineer explained why it was such a challenge.
Titanic lies in a part of the ocean that you would describe as an abyssal plain.
The abyss.
It's over 13,000 feet deep in the ocean. The water is near freezing temperatures, and probably the biggest challenge is the remoteness of the location, and in particular the harsh environment with regard to the pressure that our equipment is exposed to. So every square inch or centimeter is being pressed into smaller space by the crushing pressures of the ocean at this kind of depth.
And what the expedition's cameras captured wasn't just...
This is my thing. So as the Titanic was sinking, like the further and further it got, why was the vessel itself not compacting and crushing? And this is an assumption, and maybe it was. Maybe if you actually took time to look at the outer shell of the Titanic, it's probably all bent up out of shape due to it sinking to such low levels and being crushed by the pressure. But they're saying, a lot of divers, explorers, saying that there's a lot of things intact still on the Titanic. Another video I watched mentioned there was bottles of wine that had been unopened, just lost at the depths of the sea. My thing is, how does a bottle of wine maintain its shape? How does it not crack or bust, that glass break under the pressure?
Just rusting metal. It was a graveyard. When the Titanic sank on her maiden voyage in 1912, some 1,500 people perished in the disaster.
You were physically seeing their remains, which were eaten away and the bones dissolved, but sitting there were pairs of shoes. After the Titanic sank, those that went into the water that didn't have life jackets died of hypothermia, and their bodies came raining down. So it was like tombstones all over the ocean floor. A mother's shoes with her baby's shoes. It was very powerful imagery to see where these people came to rest. And again, reinforcing that you were at a very sacred site where so many people died. And I think everyone wonders in their own mind, if I were there, what would I have done? Would I have, done anything to save my life? Or would I have, like the builder of the Titanic, Andrew, gave up his life jacket to a female passenger and went and sat in the smoking room and sat there and never budged till the ship went down with him.
Crazy.
So it was just amazing play of humanity.
The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution made the footage available to mark the 25th anniversary of the release of James Cameron's Titanic motion picture. This is Inside Edition Digital.
Low key, he was kind of emphasizing the fact that he saw what he assumed to be ghosts. He said through the panels he saw that. But talking to the point he was mentioning, like the builder, even in the movie we see that he's not trying to escape. He's not trying to survive the sinking ship. He wants to go down with it. And it's kind of like he took the burden. It's like he took fault for it. His creation not being stable, when in actuality it's not his fault. The Titanic would have made it to its destination if it had foresaw the iceberg. You know what I mean? If it had dodged the iceberg, we probably wouldn't have the story of this ship that's just, lost at sea at the depths of the sea. You know what I mean? And there's a lot on that ship still. They even mention a lot of valuables still on there. Just a lot of crazy things that are just lost. And I think when you really think about it, that's what the world is filled of, like lost treasures, pirates that hid treasure that'll never be found. A lot of places all across different continents that have things that are hidden from, centuries ago. So no human's gonna live long enough to be able to see and understand all the mysteries of the world, the mysteries of life. You know what I mean? As technology advances, we'll be able to find different things, disclose different things. But in actuality, no man can understand fully the mystery of life, bruh, and the mystery of the world and, the universe, bruh. It even gets bigger than the depths of the sea. Outer space is a different story. You know what I mean? So life is crazy when you really think about it. But once again, condolences to those that lost their lives in the tourist submersible that went to go check out the Titanic, man. Sad story, but prayers out to those families and friends. And if you have additional comments, comment down below. Recommendations for video content, comment down below. Peace, love, prosperity. We'll catch you guys in the next video.